Welcome back to my channel. This is another video I didn't plan on making about the Philippine Antics channel. I initially ignore a lot of things they say, but I do remember them, and if they keep saying crap in following videos, I often put them together and do my reaction. Once again, Heidi complains about things people say about her, while somehow forgetting that she does the same thing. Consider this.
For those that are allowing the extra trollness on their channel, for those that are bringing it up and allowing people to hit me like that, it just doesn't make any sense. That means you're agreeing with it and starting shit. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Whether it makes sense or not is beside the point. Her failure to recognize her double standard is the point. Keep this in mind, that she has taken the position that if a vlogger allows others to say negative things about Heidi on their channels, it means the vlogger is agreeing with them and starting shit, and that she wouldn't do that to her worst enemy. And then Heidi contrasts that with what she claims she does.
When people go in saying other things like that on our channel about other vloggers, which they have, the same ones that are covering me, we remove that shit. We don't leave stuff up that was from your past or what might be about your past and all that.
Well, Heidi's channel gets very few comments, so what is there to remove, assuming she actually does this? But I'm not concerned with the comments of others. I'm focused on what Heidi actually does herself, which, as you will see, reveals a double standard, which may be why she has to be pretty creative when describing what she does.
We poke fun, we have fun, we've gone into topics, things have gotten heated, but the things that we have, if you watch the entire thing or know anything about the subject, then you'd be like, oh, well, yeah, that's warranted.
As you can see actually documented in a bunch of my video reactions to her channel, no, they often are not warranted. But the main thing is, she just tries to write off her bad behavior that she condemns from others as just having fun. Other times she might say it's just content, anything to ignore the actual substance of what she says.
That we never doxed and went in hard about somebody and brought up something that happened 40 years ago or 30 years ago or 90 years ago.
Well, she may not like it, but facts don't time out. And I'm pretty sure doing that is not worse than Heidi spouting actual false claims about more recent things. Heidi always has some meaningless difference to justify saying what she does is fine, but not fine for others. But to make my point more clear, let me remind you when Heidi and George were claiming Regular Guy was the father of a particular Filipina's baby.
We put who the suspect is because we received about 30 emails and messages stating a possibility of a father. This ain't even a joke.
Wait, isn't that providing support to what are nothing but unsupported claims by others? Maybe it's okay if Heidi is having fun. Compare this with her objection to other vloggers letting critics attack her and how it means they are agreeing with the critics. Heidi did the same thing by repeating such claims, and she kept doing it.
I ain't even joking about Regular Guy in that area. Remember how he went on his road trip? But that's how come I'm like, oh, wait a minute. He does like them province girls. And he does travel a lot. I said, hey, I still got to put him in there, whether it looks jokey or not. I said, that's Regular Guy or that's Tim K's baby.
Imagine actually saying she still got to put them in there. Not to mention adding Tim K as maybe being the father to the very same baby based on nothing but gossip. Yet now she complains if she is the victim of the rhetoric of others.
Black Grandma says, I'm more interested in knowing who the real father is and if he'll make an appearance.
Regular Guy. I'm serious. We did get that many emails, but that's probably just trolls. But I still got to mention, he was traveling during that time. That's all I got to say.
Even though she knows it is probably just trolls, she still happily claims she has to repeat it. Then we get this excuse.
the ones who are lying, who claim we're lying, first off, again, I repeat, these are not our words.
Exactly. They're giving people who are making stuff up credibility on their channel. How is this different from what she complains about?
Well,
gave
or
you
if
their
we
channel.
say there's been about 30 people that contacted us and said they've seen regular guy and heard rumors, we said it's for entertainment.
And there you have it. Heidi does the same thing as those she complains about, but just labels hers as entertainment, as if that makes a bit of difference. Now, all that was from an antics video I intended to ignore until Heidi decided, once again, to make more remarks which might be best called drive-by attacks. It's where she just can't stop herself from taking pot shots at the Philippine P or others, like this broad attack on her critics.
All these other channels are hiding shit. All of them are hiding something right now, I promise you.
But how does she know? More importantly, how could she know? Just because a channel doesn't give you everything about their personal lives doesn't mean they are hiding anything. A lot of stuff just isn't anyone else's business. But it is pretty clear that Heidi is promoting the idea that there is some bad stuff being hidden by all of them. Nothing quite like stereotyping. Based on her prior pattern, I suspect she is just blindly believing whatever gossip she hears from others. I hear lots of things from people who claim to know about Heidi, even one that said she was her sister, but I can't independently confirm any of it. I can't even confirm if the person really is related to Heidi, so I simply don't use any of it or make insinuations based on it. But Heidi doesn't just insinuate some people are hiding something big. She also throws out yet another set of insinuations about the Philippine P.
I can tell you a bunch of shit about the Philippine P, but we're not.
Isn't that nice? Except for two little details. First, Heidi has often made claims that are just gossip, as I've documented in many videos. Second, while pretending to not be a gossip, she literally makes it clear that she must have some negative stuff she could say. It's pretty clever. Pretend to take the high road while making people think there is bad stuff about P. And she doesn't even have to back up anything. This next part could be referring to me.
I don't mean harm on the P. You know, that'll probably trigger this other guy. Every time we mention the P, he's triggered.
First, when you keep making things up and you insinuate other negative things, I find it hard to believe you don't mean harm. Second, I defended something like 20 different people, but sure, it has mostly been P for the very reason I expressed in my first video, that I have watched all P's videos and so can quickly spot when anyone is promoting lies. Heidi doesn't comprehend the idea that it's best to react when you actually are well informed. And then Heidi makes it sound like she has some sort of super insider information about P, put in a negative light. Again.
No, I'm talking about we knew the whole thing about her going to America and being there and her dating and them running her channel. That type of shit.
Isn't that amazing? Well, maybe if you don't watch P's own videos, those of us who follow P knew for a long time when she was in America. A good clue is videos she made when at Daytona Beach, which, for those poorly informed, is not in the Philippines. Or the video about visiting the battleship USS Alabama in the state of Alabama, which isn't one of the Philippine islands. And what's the big deal if P was dating and running her channel? Oh my God, imagine P was still doing that. The nerve of her. Of course, Heidi concludes with it being that type of shit, just in case you weren't sure if Heidi was trying to insinuate more negativity. But Heidi isn't done yet.
But there's more information. She had jobs before she was a YouTuber. We know about all that. So she'd like to hide all that, and we would love to go on gossiping about it, but we don't. So, you know, some things are just better left alone.
Note how, once again, Heidi tries to insinuate there must be jobs that P wouldn't want you to know about. We know about P's previous jobs, around a half dozen of them. But, of course, Heidi could just say we don't know about the ones that make P look bad. So once again, insinuating very negative things while avoiding any need to document anything, just like I pointed out earlier. But think about it. How would Heidi possibly know? Well, other than blindly accepting what other gossips say, just as she did when claiming Regular Guy, Tim K, and Mark Thornton were all the father of the same baby, openly admitting it was all based on what some people messaged them, no actual facts. She's the type of person who would have believed Big Head Larry actually dated and lived with P back in 2017. After all, he said he did. He described places they went, where they lived, and even told people to watch his early videos and we'd see them together. It convinced a lot of people. Just two little problems. First, there were no such videos. I know because I watched all those early videos. Second, his video did show scenes from places he supposedly went with P, as well as where he claimed he lived with her. And in every one of them, it was the same girl who he introduced as his girlfriend. But it wasn't P. And all were from the exact period of time he claimed he dated P. Yet, in spite of the proof it wasn't P, many trolls still said it must be true. It's just the way gossips are. Reality means nothing to them. Thanks for watching, and don't let the trolls stop you from speaking out.